How you?
Yes, sir. How
That's
y'all
good.
doing?
Good, man.
Good,
Good.
good.
Back
Excited to
in
get to
NY.
work.
Look at you.
You know what I'm saying? Excited to get to work, man. Excited to get to work.
For
Got a
sure.
new semester coming up, and as everybody knows now, I'm the director of as we affectionately call it, the MTech program, which is music technology, entrepreneurship, and production. Over the past year, everybody's seen Knife in his production class. I just think it's really dope. We've been doing a lot over the summertime to make this even bigger than what it was. I think you guys are going to be surprised when you come back. We got the big studio under construction. We got our 4 satellite rooms working. I got my 2 classrooms, 26 slots in each classroom, each with a computer, each with a controller. This is going to be amazing, man.
As it's funny because we talk about it all the time. You're my boss at Rock Nation School, and I'm your boss at Jamla.
Absolutely. That's how I go.
That's funny.
It's dope, man. It's dope. It's good to see our progression. People ask a lot of questions. Are we still making music and putting stuff out? And this is just, another extension of what we do, man. Like, I think both me and Ninth have that teacher bug. I think me from an engineering standpoint, Ninth definitely from a history standpoint. I would never claim to have Ninth's memory. Ninth got the best memory I've ever seen in my life in terms of dates and who got what in the source and, just like all of that. But I think combining the two, man, is just incredible. So this is going to be dope, man. And just what we could do in terms of scholarship, I think is going to be incredible for the culture. And speaking of scholarships, I actually picked the person who's going to win my scholarship. I don't even know the name yet, and that's how fair it was because they wanted to make sure that I wasn't biased. They gave it to me without names on it, so I was just reading it and reading everybody's stuff and picked one. I hooked up with some plug-in companies now that are going to do some scholarships. So yeah, man. I mean, just we rocking.
You Guru, just like myself, you're a man of many hats.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Like, what was your motivation by taking this position, man? Like, what was going through your mind, as far as taking this position at Rock Nation School?
I think it was time. I think, like I said, both me and you had that teacher bug where we want to spread the information to people. And I felt like there's a lot of things that I could say to engineers and to just music students in general. From an engineering standpoint, I get so many sessions where certain things are wrong or it's not all the way together or I got to end up saving somebody, sort of thing. And I was like, man, I want to be able to impart this on the youth. But I also saw something in the reverse too, to where like people from our generation was trying to teach the kids an old way of thinking.
Right.
I was like, yo, you got to be up with the new times. And one of the things that I think that's just so incredible about this is that we get to mix a little bit of the traditional with the new. So it's like, are there traditional things that are like, yo, this is a C and this is a D and this is an E and this is an F and this is a G? Yes, of course. And these chords go together. But I don't know if people who teach that necessarily know how to teach in a streaming world or, what are you going to do when you don't want to sign to a major? Or do you know that your live show is going to be your bread and butter? So do you understand backline and do you understand this and that? And not only from a hip hop perspective, but just from a music perspective in general. So I think that's why I wanted to do it, was to basically update sort of where we are now and be able to teach from a level that supplies information for now and for 10 years from now, not just, the old stuff or the way that we used to run the business, because that's not the way that it moves anymore. So I think that's my main general thing is giving information, but also giving information for today's time.
Yeah, that's crazy important, man, because you get the experience from you, myself, just life experience and music experience, and like so many others come to speak, like Desiree, Perez from Rock Nation, and even the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver,
or for students to be able to hear publishing from Big John, like
Right.
that person that's
Right.
over Beyonce's publishing, that person that's over so
Right.
many different people and has so many different people working underneath them. If they have questions, you know, we bring those people in who our direct cohorts are, you know, that we deal with every day, that we talk to every day. And you know, it's one of those things where if we don't have the answer, I definitely know the person that has the answer. So, you know, giving the students that experience, the talking, the scholarships, you know, like what school has 25% of their classes being funded by full scholarships? You know, that's what we're doing at Rock Nation. So it's just a special thing. And it's also something where I think it also quells that question of, well, what's Jay's involvement? How involved? You know what I mean? Jay was so excited when we had this discussion about me coming in. And just knowing that, you know, him placing certain people in certain positions is for a reason. And he knows
Right.
that that's my love. So it's also too cool to like learn from people that are still doing it today. So not only is your professor, you know, sometimes you have people that are like, oh, they got these names because they did something 25 years ago. And it's just like, no, I did Joey Badass album yesterday. I did, you know, Dave East today. I did, you know, whatever else you want to name. So it's a current thing of where your professor is telling you about current situations and things that's going on. So I think that's cool for the students too. You know, I don't know, Ninth. It's what made you want to teach? You know, just from the beginning.
Man, I just wanted. Well, first of all, I wanted to control the narrative, pretty much. Meaning, I didn't want anybody outside our culture coming in, reading a couple of books and teaching about our culture. Like, I was like, we're not gonna let what happened to other art forms happen to this one. Right. Even from the historical standpoint, you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't gonna happen. And I hope my students can see that every time I stand in front of the classroom, that I really have a true passion for making sure they get the right information and the right history and even the right future, right? Or walking down the right path. And it's funny because I know in my class last year, as far as the experience was going, if I had something coming out, I wouldn't even tell them. Tempo, I wouldn't tell y'all what you
we didn't know.
You know, I'll just come back Monday and they be like, oh, so you on Summer Walker album, man? Like, oh, you did the joint with Russ? Oh, what's going on? Like, so it got to the point that I couldn't even take pictures with people, and they come into class Monday and say, so should we expect something or what? You know, which is dope. You know what I mean? That they get to see it in real time, like you said, instead of somebody saying, oh, I did this back in '78, which is still a valuable thing, but at the same time, we also, you can study the history of it, the future of it, and also study the now. Right. And so all of that combined is why I got into it.
That's us giving the student the full crayon box. You know what I'm saying? We might have been coloring with like 9 crayons, and then they expanded it to like 64 crayons. So it's just like, you know, if we look at the history and we say, oh, we do want that particular Motown-ish sound, the student comes and learns exactly what was going on at Motown and Stax and, you know, all these different record labels, but also be able to expand it to what's going on now. You know, like, I think that's the part we're trying to do. Or like, I don't know, Tempo, I could ask you that. Like, how does it feel to be instructed by Ninth Wonder? Or what do you feel like is different from getting instructed by Ninth Wonder that you may not get from any other professor?
Definitely you're gonna get that feedback from experience. That's probably my favorite thing about you, Ninth, personally, that you just have that experience to draw off of, like how you mentioned, like it's not coming out of a book, it's not coming out of some other source. It's you are the source. And just to speak on like history of hip hop alone, to be a part of that history and be teaching it at the same time, that's a crazy experience that you're not gonna get it with other professors, and you're not gonna get it at other schools.
Right. Also, too, I think people don't realize. I think sometimes when you go to these other schools that are like, say, just an engineering school or a production school or something like that, you, Tempo, are actually going to graduate with an actual degree from LIU. So, you know, I don't know if my audience really understands, but this is not something we set up on the side. This is Rock Nation in conjunction with Long Island University. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when we're asking students to come here, you will get a bachelor's degree from Long Island University, you know? So it's just us setting up the program so that your major can be this. And
Mm-hmm.
not only just that, but we're, you know, like Knife said, this was the first year that we went through it. We're also setting up a master's program as well, which is going to be really dope. So, you know, that thing I think needs to be stressed, that like you're not just graduating with some certificate, you're actually graduating with a bachelor's from Long Island
Yeah.
University.
For those who just joining us, is welcome to the Rock Nation School of Music, Sports, and Entertainment. I am Ninth Wonder. I am the artist of residence at the Rock Nation School. Down at the bottom, we have Young Guru, who is director of the MTEP program. That's Music Technology, Entrepreneurship, and Production. And right beside Young Guru, we have my man Tempo, who is a current student at the Rock Nation School, man, who is, how many classes you take of mine last year?
I've taken all your classes, to be honest with you. Like, I've
Straight
maxed
like
out.
that.
I can't no more exist. So you're still gonna see me, but nah, class wise, yeah, it's over.
Beautiful experience, man, to, like I was explaining before, you know, well, before we got you on live, Goo, about being in, you know, you taught at USC before, you know, I've taught places, and just to be in front of a room full of students that could speak the language that we speak, that's very, you know, we don't have to like break it all the way down to the layman's terms. For people who not, you know, that don't know all the music, like truncate and frequency and that's and all of that stuff. When I say that to these students, they're like already on the curve. You know what I mean? Like it's already up. So that's the beauty about, you know, Tempo. You remember that day I was going around asking, you know, everybody what their favorite album was, and I was getting everything from Pet Sounds by Beach Boys to, I was getting everything. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything from a generation of kids that we sometimes think know nothing about music at all, which is amazing. So, yeah,
No, it's incredible, Ninth. I think the maturation of where me and you are going, especially because people are like, oh, well, what are you teaching? And it's like they don't realize that I'm literally sitting here with a syllabus and it has these many classes on it, you know, and what they're worth and, you know, all of those things. So it's just like I'm going over introduction to music production and music theory and application 1 and oral skills and ear training and drum and studio recording lab and piano lab and sequencing and production and history of hip hop and history of rock music and history of rhythm and blues, history of country, business and music production, legal assets, music entrepreneurship, which is just huge because we get to take the music entrepreneurship into the next generation, which is not only just, you know, the basics of streaming and how you get paid, but also too NFTs and where you want to put that. So all of the entrepreneurship, and that's why it's called the MTEP program, because it's music technology. Yes, of course, you're going to learn about engineering and beat machines and programs and all the latest ones and Pro Tools and Ableton and Logic and Fruity Loops and every major program, but it's also entrepreneurship about what do you do with that
when you
after
get
it gets done, you know, and how best to go about that and what all your options are. And just to learn production from Ninth is, you know, is one of the best. And not just Ninth, you know, we have people that are over vocal coaching. We have people, and I don't want to be remiss and leave out sports because that's a whole other aspect of our school where you can dip in and take certain classes. So even, I know a lot of people on here are focused on music, but even if you're in a university, you know, your freshman year, you take a whole bunch of different courses. So if you want to take a course over there, meet some people, and then understand how music plays into all the advertising that's coming about because of the sports management, you know, all of that is available to you at the school. And I'm literally just reading off the first page. Like I could go page after page after page of all the courses that we have. So, you know, sitting here and figuring out how much those courses are worth and figuring out which ones we don't have, and like, you know, me being big on when we were building a studio of our students need to have a Dante system. And for people that don't know, it's like digitally connecting all the rooms and being able to have the forward sight of understanding that we need to understand about surround sound and what that means in today's society, you know, and what our future looks like. So I think that's the main thing for me, Ninth, is like the enjoyment in the fact that we're actually doing scholarship, but it's scholarship in fields and areas that we love and that we do every day, and being able to be like, okay, this is how I will update this. This is the thing I would have did in my school when I was going because I needed this information and that information. And, you know, for me, I think that's what really, really, really drew me in.
And it's also amazing that it's right in the media capital of the world, New York City. And on
Absolutely.
top of that, symbolically, right round away from Marcy Projects and down the street from the Brooklyn Nets. So it's like you are right in the middle
Right there.
of the
And
epicenter.
our campus is beautiful. You know, when I went to tour the campus, I was like, I never knew that this was here. So us being right across the street from Juniors, I'm always passing it. But I'm just like, once I get inside, it's like, oh, there's a baseball field in here. Oh, there's a full workout station. Oh, there's a full, like, everything inside of the campus. So, you know, you would never know that that's there. And I would encourage people to at least go just take a tour and see, you know what I mean, see what we have to offer, sort of thing. And that will make people understand how serious this is of institution building.
Yes, it's like I was saying earlier, too, about, I tell this to them all the time, that the students at Rock Nation School, when I talked there all last year, that they need to make Rock Nation School like people look at Harvard. It's like you're not going to get any better music experience or teachings in contemporary music and what to do with that contemporary music but here. You need to look at it that way. And you have people look at you that way. To wear a Rock Nation shirt or wear a Rock Nation school hat is like the ultimate badge of honor, so to speak. Like, this is like, oh, if I want to learn how to do this and do that, this is where I have to go. Same way people look at Juilliard or something like that. It's the same.
Absolutely.
Or Berklee School of Music. That's what exactly how things need to,
I think what we're strong at, though, is adding on some of the things that they don't have, which is a lot of the contemporary, because, I've been to a lot of those places, and no disrespect, they're very strong with jazz. They're very strong with classical. They're very strong with the traditional things. But I think there's no other place where you're going to walk in and learn Fruity Loops. There's no other place where you're going to walk in and learn Pro Tools and learn Logic and learn Ableton and Machine. And we're going to have those arguments about what does what better. I see a couple questions in here. I want to answer questions too. Like somebody said, will some of the classes be online? We will get to that point of putting the classes online. So Knife may not even know, but one of the things that I love too is that in the building of our big studio, we have cameras in every room. So we have a complete video system that will allow us to record, do switchers, and look at everything that we're doing online, so that we can have that ability for people that may not be in New York City. And we'll set that up to where we can be online, and have those classes where people could come in. But again, there's nothing that really trumps the in-school experience, because of the fact that people can ask questions and people can get the extra help and attention that they need right then and there. So, that sort of thing is something that I'm super proud of. But yes, we will have them online because we have cameras everywhere.
Tempo, man, what is something that you hope to learn in the future, man? Now, you learned a lot. You learned a lot. What is something that you hope to learn down the road?
Honestly, in a sense, like everything, I'm ready. The best thing, or the best mindset I feel like you can go into this with, is kind of just being a sponge. And that's how I took or approached your class, because you spit knowledge every class. Like every time you show up, there's something new. So with that, you want to take in as much as you possibly can. And I'm excited to work with Young Guru, because I know he has a lot of knowledge and information on his side as well, that once again, you just become that sponge and you take in as much as you possibly can, and with that, you just kind of apply it to what you're doing and you get better. I've gotten
It's
better
crazy.
since, like, with all of that experience, the progress, like I can see the progress. So no, it's working, and I'm excited for that to keep being a thing.
It's crazy, man, because when me and Young Guru get on the phone with each other from time to time, and we'll say, hey, you got such phone number? And like, no, but I get it. So it's like, it's like we always say that we are like this close to everybody in the game, going on the 9-1 side, the Guru side, people we know together, people, you know, that we don't have, you know, common acquaintances with or whatever. But we're a phone call away from everybody.
Right.
Like from everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
You
really
say 7
crazy.
degrees of separation. We say 2 degrees of separation.
It's 2 degrees.
I could get to anybody in 2 phone calls. Yeah.
Nah,
Right. Right.
it's funny because you already did it. When that one time we had class, we asked about the dinner party occasion. You called Terrence Martin while we were standing there in the middle of the conversation. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because
no,
I'm in dinner party. So it's like
it's a thing. Like it's a thing for sure.
yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Absolutely. For sure. Absolutely. So man, you know, that was really, you know, the main thing of us getting on here tonight. I just wanted to make sure that people, you know, understood what's going on. We still have spaces left for this year. If somebody wants to come in, I've also talked to, you know, it's a huge announcement, but I've also talked to, like I said, some of the major plugin companies. And not only are they going to be supplying us with all of the major plugins, but they're also going to create some scholarships. So we're going to have 3 new scholarships coming up real soon. I saw somebody ask when the scholarship winner is going to get announced. That's going to be up to PR to exactly when they announce that. But I can tell you that that person has already been selected. And like I said, I don't know their name because they made it fair and did not put the names on the sheet that they gave me. So man, I'm just excited. I'm excited for Ninth to teach his course, you know, and the courses he's been doing. Shout out to Common on the check-in. I appreciate you, brother. We definitely got to get you up to the
Common?
school. So, you know, that's really what it is, Ninth.
If anybody is interested, you can apply. If you go to apply.liu.edu/Rock Nation, that's apply.liu.edu/Rock Nation, and put in the code RN team. And when you apply, and the application waiver is on Rock Nation. So if you want to put that code in and just apply to apply.liu.edu/Rock Nation. And if you do that, put in RN team, RNTEAM as your code, then the waiver the application fee will be waived. And that's what it is. And, you know, come join us, man. It's going to be an incredible semester, incredible year, man. I've been working with my brother for like the last it's crazy. Next September will be 20 years I've known this brother.
20
it's
years,
amazing.
Brother.
Next September be 20 years. Next November will be the 20th anniversary of the Black Album, which I can't wait for that because I know I'm gonna get something. But,
absolutely. I want to answer some more questions, Knife. Some people say, "What's the age? What's the age limit?" This is a university. This is Long Island University, so it is a college level course. Just to answer that question, so for people that are saying how young does somebody have to be, still realize that this is LIU. This is just the Rock Nation school inside of LIU, so it's still college level. Somebody said, "What can you do to prepare?" Work on your instrument. And when I say instrument, I mean whatever that is, whether that's piano, whether that's vocals, whether that's rapping, whether that's a violin, whether that is, you know, whatever it is, just work on your instrument. Because again, I want to stress, because everybody knows me and Ninth is hip hop, it's not just hip hop classes. It's classes covering every genre of music. And it's concentrating on vocals too as well. So, you know, just wanted to put that out there if anybody has any more questions.